Welcome back to Melodic Memories of a Lights Monarch. I'm Casey, and happy Pride, Men's Mental Health Awareness, National Indigenous History, and Black Veil Brides Month. There's probably a few that I'm missing. There's a lot of things going on this month, but happy celebrations to all, and I hope everyone has an amazing June's beginning of the summer. Finally, we are almost there, but to touch on Black Veil Brides being it is their month, I wanted to mention the vocalist Andy Biersack. He just did a new interview with Metal Hammer. A great interview overall, you can find it on their website, and he even touched on American Satan and its TV counterpart, the series Paradise City, stating that he has no fucking idea if it is returning. Continuing on to say, I've still not heard anything, so it's either not happening or they've recast me, which is very unfortunate. Obviously, I watched American Satan when it first dropped on Blu-ray, when those pre-orders came up back in 2018. It's been a long time. And then Paradise City as well when it was streaming on Prime Video. It should still be there for those interested at least, and I believe it was on Tubi for a short time. But all that to be said, who knows? There's been pretty well no news regarding that series. The last thing they stated was maybe a year or more ago, being that it was supposed to be some comic book series, kind of turned into a graphic novel. I really have no clue, and obviously Andy doesn't have any clue either, so anyone holding out hope for that series, I think it might be dead on the water. I don't believe it's coming back, but who knows? Obviously we will find out in the next God knows how long coming years, I guess, but don't hold your hopes up too much. Honestly, just look forward to Joshua Schultz's upcoming film, Boogeyman, which is going to be starring Andy Black and also Lilith Czar. To continue on with Black Veil Brides, though, they released their very own perfume. Yes, a brand new perfume for this brand new era of Vindicate. I did not expect it whatsoever, but they partnered up with Cursed Fragrances out of the UK, and it looks as though it smells amazing. And the description on the website from the band themselves reads, "To our friends, this was never meant to be easy. We forged this bond through obsession and the refusal to bow to expectation. We were never untouchable. We were young, flawed, angry, trying to survive by creating something that felt real. We summoned this scent with Cursed to wear as a symbol of the fire that carried us through every show, every stage, and every voice that said we didn't belong. Wear it as armor, wear it as proof, a reminder that what makes you different can become the thing that saves you." Black Veil Brides. Amazing. I love that description. I love their message to the fans. And honestly, I wish so badly I could order this fragrance for myself, but unfortunately it's only available in the UK as of now, due to the high alcohol content, of course. But they are busy working on overseas shipping and expect to be able to ship internationally soon. So, hopes are there. Hopefully we're actually able to get this overseas, I myself in Canada. Fingers crossed. I really want to know what it smells like in person. I know there's a description there, but you never fully know until you actually smell it yourself. I only hope it's as amazing as it sounds, but we'll have to wait and see. To anyone in the UK that did order it and you're listening, please let me know what it smells like and what your thoughts are in the comments down below. And for those that cannot order it, let me know if you would. Are you interested in artists doing things like this when it comes to fragrances or hell, even different jewelry, clothing, what have you? I know they already did makeup with Cursed Cosmetics. If anyone has that palette as well, I actually have the full-on box set there, and that actually just finally got resolved for people that did have issues with their last batch. They are now fulfilling new orders, so go check it out if you had been affected. But for those of you that are interested, please let me know in the comments below what you would like to see from Black Veil regarding this kind of stuff outside of the realm of music. And while you're down there, please give a like, share, subscribe. It means a lot to me, as always. Now, to continue on with Lilith Czar particularly, Black Veil Brides, their Hearts to Hearts podcast, BVB Hearts to Hearts, they have a new interview with Lilith Czar herself, and they wrote on their socials, "New episode is out now. We had an incredible time talking with Lilith Czar. Huge thanks to her for being so open and honest with us about her journey as an artist. Real, raw, and inspiring conversation you won't want to miss." So go check that out. It was an amazing episode by both Ruth and Nicole, and as always, they killed it. And also, keep an eye out for next week's episode. I can't share anything, but believe me, it will be a real treat. And on top of that as well, if you get a chance, check out both of their socials on Twitter, Instagram, what have you, as their newest looks that have been inspired by Vindicate. They look absolutely killer. Fantastic. Mwah, chef's kiss. They killed it. Now to move on past Black Veil Brides, they've obviously got a lot going on still with their newest release of their album Vindicate, an amazing album at that. I wanted to touch on something a little more soft, more in the pop realm / country, maybe, being Taylor Swift. Now Taylor Swift, she just announced her Toy Story collab. Yes, for those that don't know, this month in June, I believe June 18th, if I'm not mistaken, is the release of the newest Pixar film, Toy Story 5. Toy Story, as anyone should know, and if you don't, here's me telling you, holds a very, very close, sincere spot in my heart. I love Toy Story. I grew up with it. I just adore it to no end. My favorite Pixar franchise, hands down, bar none. But Toy Story, as it continuously goes forward, it really doesn't need to. I know this is a tangent aside from what I'm trying to talk about, but I do need to mention, did we really need a Toy Story 4, let alone a Toy Story 5 and whatever Lightyear was? I never watched Lightyear because I just am against it, but Toy Story 5, I am cautiously optimistic for. I just want to hope for good from it. I don't know if it will be any good. So here's hoping. And most importantly, hoping that this new Taylor Swift / Toy Story collab is fantastic, just as I hope the movie will be. Now, it started with much speculation over the past couple weeks now, which eventually turned into actual billboards being seen of TS in the Toy Story font with 13 clouds behind it, as well as updates to her 1989 Taylor's version, including clouds instead of seagulls, and a few playlist updates to include only track 5s. There's a lot of hints towards this. And then it went all the way to a proper countdown found not only on her website, but also literally in Times Square itself. So a big deal, all to be said. And what actually came to be is that she wrote a song for the movie. On her socials, she posted, "You knew it. My new original song, I Knew It, I Knew You, for Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5 will be yours on June 5th. I've always dreamed of getting to write for these characters who I've adored since I was a 5-year-old kid watching the first Toy Story movie. I fell instantly in love with Toy Story 5 when I was lucky enough to see it in its early stages, and I wrote this song as soon as I got home from the screening. Sometimes you just know, right? You can pre-order now exclusively at store.taylorswift.com and catch Toy Story 5 in theaters June 19th. With 5 cloud emojis at the end of it. So, Taylor Swift, she's releasing a brand new single for the Toy Story movie. It's supposed to be a return to her country roots, written and produced by both Taylor Swift and Jack Antonoff. As well, this original song in Toy Story 5 will seemingly focus on Jessie's flashbacks to her original owner, Emily, after returning to her home. So it's going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. Not only just the plot itself of Toy Story 5 and what that will actually end up becoming. We will find out when the movie comes out later this month. But even more so, whether or not this song will meet my standards for Toy Story. I know my standards are a bit higher when it comes to Toy Story because, again, that's why I mentioned how much it means to me. I grew up with those movies, absolutely killer movies, especially the first three. Should have ended there, but I digress. I'm excited. Again, cautiously excited, but excited all the same. And on her web store, where you can pre-order these single CDs, there are three of them, one being the single itself, the second being an alternate version, an acoustic version that is, and the third being a piano version, all with their own vocal takes and production according to the website itself. So go check those out if you're interested. The song itself drops this Friday, June 5th, so we won't have to wait too long to actually hear it, and then just a little bit longer to actually see it in the film. Also, to touch on it, being that it is Taylor Swift that I'm talking about, it now marks 1 whole year of her owning her own masters. Hell yes. Taylor Swift, congratulations on both the Toy Story single and, of course, the 1 year of owning your masters. To move past Taylor Swift for but a moment, but to still focus on movies, we got Iron Lung. Yes, Iron Lung the movie, Markiplier's foray into movie making, is now out and available digitally on YouTube. So go check that out if you haven't. It's one of my highest recommendations for modern indie horror films. I very much loved it to every extent possible. I cannot wait to see it again. My buddy Logan, shout out to you, man. He already bought it on YouTube, so we're going to check it out together soon. Cannot wait to finally rewatch it. It was amazing. Also, we got our first look at Lex Luthor in his armor for Man of Tomorrow, which is the next Superman movie in James Gunn's DC universe. I gotta say, he looks amazing straight out of the comic books. I'm very, very excited to see how it actually turns out when the film is eventually made. Before that, though, we've got Supergirl coming very, very soon. Also, we got the final trailer for Scary Movie 6. It honestly looks incredibly hilarious. I'm very excited for it. I know Scary Movie, as it went on as a franchise, definitely fell to its lowest lows. The parody movies kind of died for a while, but I'm very happy and excited that this one's coming back. Scary Movie 6 looks like a return to form. Obviously, we'll see when it does eventually come out, but I am excited all the same. To continue on past Scary Movie, though, we got Tom Holland. In a recent interview, he said that he hopes fans learn from Peter's loneliness in Spider-Man Brand New Day. He went on to say, "I really hope young people everywhere will watch this film and appreciate the importance of community and that you don't have to do this alone. In the digital age, it is so easy to sit in your room and waste hours just scrolling. But nothing is better than getting out of the house and socializing with friends. Love the message, can't wait for the new Spider-Man movie. I do believe it might very well be one of the best Spider-Man movies yet. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see, but I'm very excited for this one." Next, we got Damien Leone, the director of the Terrifier franchise. He's got Tortures of the Damned coming soon. He stated on his socials saying, "Beyond excited to finally share this news. Working alongside such amazing talent is truly a dream come true. I can't wait for everyone to experience the horrors that lurk beyond Terrifier." And he is making this movie with Lionsgate. So big things for him, going from an indie director to working with a proper studio, and it being worked with Sam Raimi as well. I'm very intrigued by this horror film. I'm going to be looking forward to it, and I hope Terrifier 4 still comes before this one. I want Terrifier to wrap up before he properly moves on, just to keep the focus on that, but all the same, excited for that. Lastly, we got A24. Their newest film, Backrooms, has opened with $81.5 million domestically, which makes it the 5th biggest domestic opening for a horror film ever, and has already become A24's 2nd highest grossing film of all time domestically. It's only been out for this past weekend. And it also means that the director Kane Parsons is officially the youngest director ever to have a #1 film at the domestic box office in its opening weekend. He is only 20 years old. Absolutely insane, mind blown. And from knowing the YouTube series or whatever you want to call it, what Backrooms was, insane that it has reached this kind of heights. Like, it's wild. I'm excited to see the movie. I plan to see it on Tuesday, maybe. Hopefully soon anyways, regardless. There's some movies I've been meaning to see in theaters, and I've just been completely too busy. So this one is hopefully the one I will be able to see next. Now, to move past the movies, I want to talk about hockey, and this is just a follow-up with my past few episodes and where I did as such. For the hockey news, unfortunately, it didn't go very well for Team Canada in the IIHF Men's World Championship. Now, they did go on to shut out Team USA 4-0 in the quarterfinals, while, of course, losing their Edmonton Oilers defenseman Evan Bouchard to a very nasty hit in the head, which knocked him out cold and marked the end of his tournament. There was a lot of videos going around. It looked brutal, and he was laying on the ice completely gone. They showed his face. His eyes were open. He wasn't there. He was knocked out. So fingers crossed he's okay. They haven't really said much other than the fact he wasn't returning to the tournament. And what it means for the Edmonton Oilers when the NHL starts again, I have no clue. And hopefully it's at least good news. If not just for the Edmonton Oilers, then for sure for Evan Bouchard. Nobody deserves to get hit or hurt like that, in my opinion. They then fell 4-2 against Finland in the semifinals and had another consecutive loss, their first in the tournament, giving up the bronze medal to Norway, which does mark their first ever medal in history. So congrats, Norway. But that really sucks for Canada, as it was not a great end to the tournament for them in the slightest. They really need to step up their game and get their program of excellence back together and start winning these important games. They just keep on failing, and I'm not sure why. I hope that it's just a phase, if you will, a fad, but who knows really at this point. I just have to cross my fingers, and hopefully time will tell what is going on with Team Canada at that international level. Also, speaking of the IIHF Disciplinary Board has annulled the Council's January 2026 decision to block out Russia's reintegration into international competition. But they have confirmed this does not mean Russia is automatically reinstated. The board has referred the matter back to the IIHF Council to reanalyze the situation based on safety, security, operational, and sporting considerations. The Council will determine Russia's eligibility for future IIHF competitions on an event-by-event basis. So fingers crossed, those Russian athletes will be able to come back and actually experience and partake in these tournaments, as Russia is one of Canada's biggest rivals and also one of the best countries at hockey. Now, this is not to touch on what Russia has been doing in the political sense. This is just focusing on their athletes, and being that hockey has been missing them for quite some time now, I just hope that one day soon we'll be able to actually see Russia partake in these tournaments and give both Canada, USA, and every other team a run for their money, because Russia is no joke and not a team to turn your nose at by any means. Now, as for the NHL, just to touch on it quickly, the Montreal Canadiens, which was Canada's final chance at the Stanley Cup this year, unfortunately got knocked out in Game 6 at home in Montreal to, of course, the Carolina Hurricanes. Big sad they didn't win a single game at home. They only won one single game at the very beginning of that series, but I digress. The Stanley Cup final is now between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Carolina Hurricanes, and all I've got to say is may the best team win. Now, back to some music news. We got Death Cab for Cutie. They appear on Jimmy Kimmel Live tonight, this Monday. If you're listening to this past then obviously it should be on YouTube or at least on socials. Go check that out, because Death Cab for Cutie is one of my favorites. Also, 27 years ago, today, Blink-182 released their album Enema of the State. Crazy it's that old. I love that I got to hear some songs from it at the Past When We Were Young Fest. Cannot wait to see what they might do next. Also, Lady Gaga, her mayhem era has now come to an end. Very unfortunate that it's ending now, but it was an amazing era. She did amazing things, and honestly, I can't say anything bad about it. I really appreciate what Lady Gaga was able to do and was able to say with her presence and with that album. I very much enjoyed it. So, RIP, obviously, to the mayhem era. Next up is Neck Deep. They are busy in the studio working on their new and upcoming album. Yes, the pop punk legends, if you will. They've got new stuff coming on the way. When that'll be, we don't know, but they are busy at work. Also, Fit for a King. They will have new music coming soon on the horizon, stating that new music is coming sooner than we may think. So, all good things to be considered. It's going to be very, very interesting for music this year. It's already been an amazing year for music, with Black Veil Brides releasing their newest album, Vindicate, and yes, I'm going to talk about that album every chance I get. It is my favorite that has been released this year, and not to mention the countless other albums that have come out this year that have been absolutely top tier. As for some other quick news that I just wanted to share, was Fable. The Xbox franchise Fable, it unfortunately gets delayed until February 2027 to give it its own time to shine, quote unquote. Not sure exactly why. Only thing that can be thought of is they're doing this so it is not overshadowed by the highly anticipated GTA 6. So we'll see what Fable brings when the time comes. Very, very upset over the fact that it is getting delayed. It was a game that I was very much looking forward to. I love the Fable franchise, so we'll see what comes of February when it eventually gets here next year. We've got a long way, though. Also, Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2. The DS game itself has had its 16th anniversary, in which the composer Yoko Shimomura reminisced on creating Vector to the Heavens, an amazing song if you haven't heard it, plays at the very end of 358 Days Over 2 and during the final boss. I'm not going to touch much on that, but regardless, it is an amazing, amazing track, one of the best. And she also touched on hearing it live for the first time with, of course, a full-scale orchestra, which she never thought she would be able to hear. Amazing things. Kingdom Hearts is a franchise that means a lot to me. It's just as Toy Story, just as Black Veil Brides, and everything else I hold close to my heart. So, Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2, amazing that it has reached 16 years old. I feel very old in saying that, and I just hope that we finally get some proper Kingdom Hearts 4 news soon. Then we got PlayStation State of Play. It is coming very soon, tomorrow to be in fact. They are going to be showing off Insomniac's Wolverine. That is the main thing they're showing, and again, the live stream itself is June 2nd at 2 p.m. Pacific time. So check that out if you have the time. I know I will be checking it out as much as I'm able, though I will be working, so it'll probably be something that I'll have to watch after work hours. Unfortunate, but the way it is sometimes. Now to get on to some new releases. I just wanted to touch on these, as I always do, because new releases are something I want to keep an eye on, even though I unfortunately haven't had the chance much yet to listen to any of them. In saying that all the same, though, we got My Chemical Romance. They have released Save Yourself, I'll Hold Them Back, Scarecrow, and Summertime from their upcoming anniversary edition of Danger Days. We got Lex and Paris, Urban Legends Paris Remix, a new Rick and Morty song titled 4 Ages featuring Wax, Wayne, and Ryan Elder. Haven't heard that yet, haven't even caught up on Rick and Morty, but the song is there all the same. And of course, Shinedown. They released their newest album titled 8. Very excited to check that one out because obviously Shinedown is a band that I appreciate. I don't love all their stuff. I haven't even heard half of their music, but the singles for this album were singles that I was keeping an eye on. I heard them. I loved them. Cannot wait to check out this album in its entirety. Next up, we got Illenium featuring I Hate Models, Never Alone remix. Very cool to see, as well as Dark Divine and their newest album, Undead Melody. Last up, we got TX2 with Confession. So, a lot of new music that has come out over the past week alone, and a lot more to look forward to. There's always something new around the corner, so if you guys are excited and looking forward to a certain something in the music realm, or hell, even movies, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear about it and start the conversation. Now, to end this episode, I just wanted to take a moment to thank my family. I was out there this past weekend visiting with all of them as they all finally came out for something. Yes, we were all together. It was honestly like a mini family reunion of sorts, but I wanted to thank my family for coming out, and most importantly, my uncle, my stepdad, and my cousin for pulling out the guitars around the campfire this past weekend. Those are the moments that mean more to me than I could ever put into words. They're the memories that I hold so near and dear, that I really cherish from my childhood, and I always look back on so fondly and always want more of them. And obviously, time is fleeting. There might not be more of them in the future. I don't know. And being that it has been so long since the last time we were able to do so, I was luckily able to record the majority of it and just be able to have that as memories forever. I even was able to record the entire group as well, and just a way to look back on it in the future and be like, wow, look at everybody. They were all here, and look at the kids. They're all, tiny, and just a way to kind of have my own little time capsule of that moment, of those memories, rather than just in my head, actual visual video to go along with it. So just wanted to thank them because, again, I had an amazing weekend, and being able to experience that again was spectacular. Really, the only downside to the weekend was Team Canada and their losing. Literally getting like 4th place, but again, I'm not going to beat that dead horse. What happened, and the ones that won. We got Finland with the gold medal, Switzerland with silver, and of course Norway with bronze. Lastly, I wanted to say rest in peace to Harambe. And yes, I know it's kind of a meme, but for true, Harambe, rest in peace. After you were gone, our timeline definitely skewed, and it would be lovely to get back on track, but can't believe it's been 10 years since that tragic moment happened, and just absolutely insane that time is literally and constantly fleeting. And with that, thank you so much for listening. Have an amazing Pride Month, Black Veil Brides Month, Men's Mental Health Month, and of course, National Indigenous History Month as well. Enjoy it, enjoy your summer, and most importantly, thank you for discovering the music within.